So I find it quite funny that we started this podcast about 10.5 months ago, and there was a very specific reason that we started this podcast, and it was chapter 453. If you guys don't remember what that chapter was about, we even said that, hey, we'll start the podcast once a big chapter drops or something that we could really discuss about. And that chapter happened to be when Gray talked about giving Juvia an answer once the war ended. And we thought that was such a big revelation that we would start this podcast. And now, 10.5 months later, and what was it, about, it would be 46 chapters later, we're here now at chapter 499. And honestly, it's somewhat poetic that we started there and we're here now doing our first chapter review on essentially the same subject, both involving Juvia and Gray. So that was this chapter, man. It was really something else.
Taylor, you're making me cry.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten like 5
Into
minutes
detail
in, and
about
you
anything.
just
Fuck.
you
Look,
didn't even fucking tell us what you were gonna do for an introduction this time.
Is this what you had to fact
This
check?
isn't the usual. Hey guys, and welcome to Fairy Tale Thoughts episode.
No, man, I said I had a statement to throw out there at the start of this podcast, and that was
yeah,
it.
you
and
did.
I wasn't prepared. Whoa.
I thought it was another gag.
No,
Not this serious deep
Jeez.
shit.
it's
Jesus.
yeah, it's just pretty poetic, and this chapter, very much worth the whole, hey, let's all get together and talk about a single chapter, because this was something else from both an emotional and a storytelling perspective. Hiro Mashima, for the love of fuck, don't do this, please.
She
Don't
was
do
best
this.
So-
girl.
Are we
Debatable, but she's a close second.
Gonna... Oh god.
Guys,
Frankie
what did you
agrees
think
with
of
me.
it? What did
Yeah.
you think of this chapter, guys?
Well, I think I sort of saw it coming. Like, I knew a death was inbound for this arc, and we knew it had to be quite impactful, and throughout the chapters prior to this one, it had been teased about different characters, like, oh, they're gonna bite the dust. Oh, first it was Gargiel, and oh no, he's fine. And then there was Mira, shut through the heart. I'm so sorry. No, but Brandish saved her ass, and we thought, maybe they were the people to be killed. No.
No one
Fucking
else
hero.
really died.
Who does he choose?
One of my fucking ships. What the
Not
fuck?
just any
Correction.
shit. This is like
Correction.
her sh-
One of
The
our-
most
the most
the
supported.
most important ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not because I think, oh, they make such a great couple. Because one of the motherfuckers in this ship, Gray Fourbuster, this man deserves a happy fucking ending. The shit that he has gone through, the women and men he has lost in his life, and now
He's lost
this.
his mother.
Let's
His
go through
mother.
it. Okay, let's
His
go
father.
through it. He's lost his mother. He's lost his
And
father.
his father.
Twice.
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 Twice he's lost his
He's
dad.
lost.
He lost a
He's-
surrogate mother.
His foster mother. He lost his foster mother. He lost his foster sister, who in the end, it can be debated whether or not that he actually saw her as a sister, whether or not they spent like, I don't know, the way that he
She
reacted.
sacrificed her life for him.
And the way,
So-
and the way that he reacted in the end was, it kind of
Touching.
showed that it was touching. It was touching, and it showed that yes, he did see her as more than just an ally, and not in the romantic sense. That's just stupid. But in more of that, he did see this common bond that they shared. That they were both raised by her, and so yeah, they did. It was more of it was a sibling relationship that they shared. But now, Gray has lost who technically at the end he did say he was in love with her.
Yeah. That he was gonna take her seriously,
now.
and that he was begging for her to open her eyes, and she didn't. She laid there.
And it's incredible that we've discussed about this, but throughout the whole series, Gray has not shied away from trying to commit suicide in terms of trying to protect the people he loves.
Basically what his whole character arc is about.
Basically,
Learning how
and him
important his life
overcoming
is.
and him overcoming and realizing how valuable his life actually is. So now we come to this where in synchronization, him and Juvia both try to commit suicide to save each other's lives, and then this happens where Juvia, whether you think it's bullshit or not that she knew blood transfusion magic,
I can believe that.
She saves Graves. To be honest, I don't think it is that bullshit, because
Other people who actually think it's bullshit.
I read it and I was like, quite unsure, but the more I thought about it, the fact that Gray has tried to commit suicide this many times in the series, and she learned it just in case something did happen to Gray, in terms of like, oh, and look, she saw him get shot through the fucking head during the Grand Magic Games. Of course, she didn't remember because of time being turned back, but she saw him get shot through the head.
Well, in general, it just seems like something she would
do for Gray.
Yeah. Does anyone really doubt that she would have the capacity to sacrifice herself for Gray?
Not the capacity that she would sacrifice herself for Gray, but the fact that it's never been brought up before. Like, she now has this magic.
Well,
The
that's
blood
kind of
transfusion.
the twist, but I could buy it in the sense that her specialty is water-based magic, and that's most of what we're made of.
Exactly. So
That's like saying bloodbending in Avatar is bullshit.
it's just, why Juvia? Because there's so many more people that I could think of in this series that you could kill off, and you
Because we
could
gotta
have,
torture Gray more.
and you could have this whole emotion. We'll get into the storytelling perspective of it and how it does make sense, whereas like Gajus doesn't whatsoever. That's why he's alive and Juvia isn't. But there's so many other people that you could think of, even within the guild, where of course the deaths won't make as much sense as Juvia or even be half as impactful, but
My
at
bet
least
was on Makarov.
get rid of Elfman. Get rid of Lysander. Get rid of both of them.
Oh
Double
God.
swoop. Double
Why do you
fucking
hate Elfman
swoop.
Wouldn't
so
that
much?
just like destroy Mira though? Would
Yes,
you
it
want
would.
to inflict that sort of?
After what happened with
Harm onto
Lisana,
her.
she's already lost a sister.
Do you
I
want
don't-
to do that to your waifu?
Juvia
Oh,
or Gray. Oh no, Juvia or Elfman and Lysana. It's
oh
not a
fuck
fucking.
it. Yep.
It's
yeah, okay.
not a hard
Yeah.
pick.
It's
not,
not,
a
it's
hard
not.
pick in the fucking slightest.
No.
Fuck the whiteheads. They're going.
So
Juvia for
um,
life.
Racist, Frankie.
we did see the spoilers, and that was where I was most emotional. Like obviously,
Yeah.
like we read those spoilers, so the fact that I did read it today, it didn't get as much impact as when I first read the spoilers, because it's like seeing it over again. But it was very emotional. It was very.
You know how emotional I got when we seen the chapter spoilers, though, didn't you? We were
You
like
were a wreck all weekend.
Yeah. We were
Yeah.
in a call, and it was just I couldn't get a word in edgeways because I'd want to say something and it'd just be overtaken with sobs of, oh Juvia, why? Oh God, no, why my ship? Oh. At first, I mean, it didn't sink in when you saw the spoilers. You were just like, oh, this is only a part of it. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she doesn't die. It just started to sink in more when you read the whole chapter. And
Yeah.
it's just, oh. I feel like if I hadn't seen those spoilers and I went into that not prepared and like not knowing.
Oh fuck.
Like, can you think of the poor little souls that went into that thinking
Without
Gray and
yeah.
Juvia. Oh, it's gonna be a ship chapter. Oh,
Confession.
oh,
Well,
more
they
like
weren't wrong.
Stabby suicided until
Yeah, no,
she's
yeah,
dead.
no, they weren't wrong. Yeah, no, we did get
They
confession
weren't wrong,
somewhat.
but it felt so tragically wrong. But oh.
So, Frankie, do you want to draw some parallels for us here? Because we know you already have one. And a lot of people in the community are making it,
Yeah.
obviously.
A lot of people have made this connection with Hero's past work of Rave Master, with the character Musica and Reina. Musica being basically, I think, is just a character that he's based quite a lot of characters from Fairy Tail off. So, like, Gargiel and Gray. It's basically got Gargiel and Gray in one character is Musica, basically. And he's taken a lot of influence from Rave Master in certain aspects of Fairy Tail, and it's clearly reflected in this chapter with how heartbreaking it is to see the girl, in this case Juvia, and in Rave Master's case Reina, giving up themselves in order to protect and keep their other half alive. And a lot of people drew those two together and are assuming the worst, because in Rave Master, Reina doesn't come back. And it's heartbreaking, but I am holding out hope that he is not completely copying Rave Master with that. Because if he did, that was the one thing in Rave Master that I remember hating. I hated that because Musica was just so depressed for a while, and it was just like, oh, it's hard to watch when you see a character go through so much, and just, it looks like they have a glint of hope and it's just shattered. And then it's just the same with Gray, and it's just, he's been through way too much just to have this taken away from him again. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, but it's better that Juvia stays dead because it's better for the story.
Fuck you!
But yeah, exactly. It is in no way, I can't even begin to
In the short term.
fathom the fact that people want this character to stay dead. People want
No
Gray
one wants
to stay miserable.
them to stay
It's
dead.
just,
No,
no
they
one
do.
wants. They do.
Trust
want
me.
No, no,
them to
me
stay
and
let
Frankie
dead.
me
have seen
elaborate.
people.
Yeah,
They-
we've seen Forneverworld's fucking comment section. We know who
Yeah,
fucking
no,
wants
To be
Let
fair,
me
that's
elaborate.
cancerous to begin with, his comment section.
Yeah.
But even the actual fans of Fairy Tail that put like legitimate criticisms in the comments.
Yeah.
Like, even they, and even all over the Fairy Tail Reddit, there's a lot of people that saying, you know what, she should stay dead. And from a short-term storytelling perspective, I can see why. It makes a lot of sense. We'll get into that. But from the perspective of Juvia, she doesn't deserve it. Gray, he doesn't deserve it. I know it's tragic, it's impactful, but it just shouldn't happen. Not with this character.
I think this is a character that a lot of us have we've got deep connections with this character, and it's that's why it's so impactful. But it's a character that you don't want to see go, because it's just, they are important enough for you not
Look.
want that you don't want them to go.
No
I'll
one wants
just-
their
look.
favorite
No one wants
character
it to
to
go.
die.
Look, I will draw parallels with this and Ignil. The thing is, what I even said to my friend, I'd say a good maybe 3 or 4 months before Ignil even showed up. This is back in college. Like, you know, when Ignil shows up, what's gonna happen then? Like, does he come back? Does he start living at the guild with Natsu and all the others? Like, what happens? And then the more and more you think about it, you think, he's gonna come back just to die, isn't he? There's no way the Ignil will come back and everything's gonna be hunky-dory and he's gonna live with everyone at the guild, or like live in Magnolia, because that's like a fairy tale ending right there.
Stop making
And
me think
the
about what
story's
could
nowhere-
have been, Taylor.
Look, and the story was nowhere nearer its climax. That, it made sense that Ignil comes back, sacrifices himself from a storytelling perspective now that helped develop Natsu's character. It gave some impact to the series, and it also killed off.
It made sense with the story's themes.
And it made sense with the themes of the story in terms of, you know, hero and the daddy issues and whatnot. But it made sense. This, while it does make sense in the short term for what Gray is going to do next, at the end of the series, will it really be worth it? This death? I think not. I don't think it will be.
Because Hiro said that he didn't like the ending of Rave Master because he didn't think it was as happy an ending as he wanted it to be. So he wants to end Fairy Tail on a very high note. And
He did say that a while ago, but...
Unless having Gray miserable as fuck in his fucking happy hunky-dory ending is gonna be...
Oh yeah, you know for a fact that... if this is the climax of Fairy Tail, which Hiro has said, it's not going to be the end, but it's going to be the climax. How the fuck is everything going to be hunky-dory after this? Because you know the guild is not going to be all smiles and happy celebrating the victory of the war with Juvia, one of the most influential characters in the guild, dead. That's just not going to work. If it was someone else, maybe Brandish. That's what I'm thinking. I'm still thinking Brandish is going to die. Like,
No,
it would
yeah,
be
Brandish has a huge... Like, she wore that red shirt a long time ago.
Oh yeah, there would be like the guild would commemorate her, they would see her as a hero, but it's not something that they've spent all this time with. And I get heroes like, oh, you've known this character for, I don't know, 8 years. Let's kill her off. And I can see what you mean, but there's a lot of other characters you can do that with, and just not Juvia, man, just not Juvia.
You haven't watched that much Game of Thrones, have you, Taylor?
Eric, this is Fairy Tail, not Game of Thrones. The only parallel between the two is Gildarts now looks like Ned Stark. But besides that, there's fucking nothing.
Oh shit, that's who he looks like now.
Yeah, did you not notice he looks like
No,
Ned
I did
Stark?
not notice that. I was too busy being happy over the fact that he doesn't look like Shanks anymore.
No, yeah, Hiro just copied someone else's work now. That's what happened.
Could I elaborate more on Juvia's death real quick?
Go for it.
Okay, because...
You haven't had your 2 cents. Please go for it.
Gray is my favorite character in the show. Juvia is my best girl for the show. Juvia is my Mira Jane, Taylor.
That's perfectly fine. She's a very good choice.
So I'm pissed off.
I can imagine so.
That being said, when the whole thing, we all knew that death had to happen at some point during this war, because it's a fucking war. That was actually one of the big complaints people had about, like, the last arc of Naruto, because it was a fucking war and no one was dying. And I can kind of see from where they're coming from, not just in a short-term way, but in a long-term way, because it's hard to root for a character if it feels like there's nothing at stake. In all the other arcs, there was always something else at stake. Here it's like, no, I'm gonna stomp into your land, I'm gonna wreck your shit and get what I want. So then I can stomp on the rest. Well, we still don't really know what Zeref plans to do. Like, we know his end goal is to die, but we don't know what he's gonna do with Fairy, and he wants to take down Acnologia, but we don't know what he wants to do with Fairy Heart. We don't even really know what Fairy Heart is.
Yeah.
It's a mystery. But, I don't want Juvia to die. I think, given what we've seen before and what, like, we just talked about, I don't think she's dead. Or at the very least, something's gonna happen to bring her back. But, you guys might be pissed at me for this. I felt way more about this chapter than I did about the Gagio death chapter.
I don't blame you
Because
at
in the
all.
back of my... Huh?
I agree completely.
Yeah, I agree as well. Actually.
Because at least with
100%.
Gagio, we had there were clear signs that he was coming back. And this is because we keep spoiling ourselves with as much fairy tale content as possible.
Well, Hero released a freaking light novel
That's what I mean! Like, about their kids! I'm like, wait a minute!
Exactly.
He's not dead!
Whether or not you think that's canon to the story, Hero wouldn't release that, or it wouldn't be published, knowing fully well that... I don't know.
Well, wait, did Hero write the light novel?
No, he had a hand in it, though.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
The
yeah,
whole
you could argue whether or not it's
concept, the whole
canon.
basic concept of like the plot. Yes, he did have a hand in. So
okay,
he
so
knew,
we
he
knew
what
he
was
wasn't
gonna
gonna kill Gagio.
Yeah.
Here it's like you could argue that the target was put on their back way back during that chapter when we first started all this.
46
he's
chapters
like-
ago, people. Yeah.
Yes. When he said, when this war is over, I'll give you an answer. I'm like, okay, something's gonna happen, isn't it? It's the equivalent of like a husband who leaves his wife and child, like, I'm going off to war. I'll be back. He's not fucking coming back. But I do actually have some ideas as to how this can kind of work and like work out into a happy ending. Because
Okay.
I know that when I said that people probably want her to stay dead, I don't think it's because they hate Juvia or anything.
No,
But
no,
I think
no,
it's
no,
more
no.
along the lines of they want
Impact.
to feel
Lasting
like they want to
impact.
feel impact. They want to feel lasting. They want to feel like this war actually did some damage. And I agree with them. But
To an
there are
extent, to an
dozens of
extent.
other characters
Mhm.
that could have justifiably been killed off that I would have been okay with.
Yeah.
That would have done the same exact thing. Like, I'm still thinking to this day that Makarov isn't going to make it out of here alive. For some reason. Like, I thought he was the dead one. Or maybe even Loxus. Not fucking Juvia. Oh, I'm done.
Oh.
So I have to ask now, where does this lead? Because Hero now, he did it with 399, he did it with 400. He makes the 99 and he makes the 100 chapters big chapters, big epic events. We didn't know if it was gonna happen this time, but clearly from this chapter, something's gonna happen. Next chapter, chapter 500.
And we know that there's going to be a major bloodbath on those beautiful
that's
color
what-
pages
look,
next chapter.
That's what I have to ask. What happens from here? Because we know for a fact that Gray is going to tear Invel limb from fucking limb. He is going to drag that motherfucker's head across the battlefield and he is going to go on a rampage. I can guarantee you, Invel is dying next chapter. He is getting torn to shreds by Gray. Because we haven't seen rage like this ever in Fairy Tail. Not to this level. In terms of someone's just died right in front of you. With Natsu, it was weird because he didn't rage, did he? It was literally just pure. But you can see why there's a difference because
Well, when what happened?
when Ignil died, because Natsu
Oh, when
he
they did
didn't.
that, it was just straight up sadness.
It was pure sadness, and that was only because he had been searching for him for so long. It was more of a quest for searching him, and then having that, and then achieving that quest, and then having it being pulled right away from him. Whereas with Gray and Juvia, Gray clearly is going to blame himself for this because for so long he didn't give her an answer, and she didn't hear that answer. He doesn't know, and we don't know. We're just assuming, but we don't know if Juvia ever heard that Gray will now take her seriously, or her feeling seriously. So that's gonna be a doubt in the back of his head. He is feeling pure anger now. I can only imagine how he's feeling. So this now, totally, without a doubt, he is going to kill Invel, brutalize him. He is going to die. But then where do we go from there? Does Invel reveal something? Where does Gray go after that? What do you
I
guys
think Invel's gonna reveal somehow, because that's the reason why he went after Gray in the first place. I think Invel will be fine with dying if it leads to advancing his plan, and his plan was to turn Gray on Natsu
Well,
because of Gray's Demon Slayer magic.
Well, he said specifically E.N.D. We don't know that he knows that Natsu is E.N.D. Okay,
I think
so
he knows.
but yeah, no. From this chapter, there's a very good chance that he does because this wasn't
With the
in
whole
the
locket.
this wasn't in the initial spoilers, but we did see it during the weekend. That he knows that Zeref and Natsu are related. They are brothers because Zeref tells Invel about the locket that he keeps with a picture of him and Natsu. That was very cute, by the way. But still, I saw something earlier on Tumblr. It's like when you keep a cute picture of your younger brother, but you low-key want him to kill you. So, if it was my guess, Chapter 500, Gray brutalizes Invel. Invel reveals the truth, reveals what Natsu is,
and he goes after Natsu.
What Gray has to now do. It would be weird if he had just said Natsu is E.N.D. and Gray just goes, I'm gonna kill E.N.D. and goes right after Natsu. I'd like to think that Invel kind of puts some blame on Natsu, if you know what I mean. Oh, this could have been avoided if Natsu did, because he's already an emotional wreck. So that little more push towards the dark side, saying, hey, this could have been avoided if Natsu wasn't here, if you had done this, if you had done that. That might just be the little tiny thing that pushes Gray over the edge to attacking Natsu.
See, I think because he's obviously completely unstable now that Juvia's just gone in front of him.
Well, he's in this state that most shonen characters get, that after a death they are fucking unstoppable.
They are
right now,
invincible,
Gray is a walking killing machine. No one's gonna stop him until his rage is calmed.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think just taking out Invel will do it for him, because he's gonna be looking for anything to fucking butcher the living fuck out of. And I mean, the next chapter's titled Fire and Ice, and it's
more Game of Thrones
more,
references, yeah.
It's more obvious, like, that it's about Natsu and Gray. But we thought that about a few other chapter titles and stuff, and it wasn't like that. So I'm still trying to think.
There could be other possibilities.
Could be. I mean, it could be like,
because there was the chapter I'm hungry as hell,
yeah.
And only one guy on the Reddit called that as Gildat. There was one guy, and everyone else was like, "It's fucking stupid.
It's
He's
fucking
not
Natsu.
coming back."
It's Natsu.
It's Natsu, like, oh, I'm hungry. Let's go fight the bad guys. No, and then Gildat showed up. So you're completely right, Frankie. Something could be something completely different. But if it is something completely different, how would that? I don't know how that would be as impactful.
I was sort of,
for chapter 500, it needs to be something real big.
Yeah. And
any ideas?
Natsu and Gray would be pretty big. I mean, it's something that's been talked about. I mean, we thought we saw it in the Avatar, like, oh, they're gonna go at it, and then it wasn't.
That's been the most hype fight of the series for so long, ever since
it's been teased at. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, yeah, no, that's another thing that Hero's done really well. So we know this fight will happen, definitely, because it's been teased, and Hero loves doing his, like, foreshadowing. So this E.N.D. versus Devil Slayer Gray is definitely gonna happen. But everyone thought that it would be E.N.D. is the bad guy, Gray is the savior. Now, what we've seen here, that could totally be flipped. What if Gray goes to the dark side, and it's just normal old Natsu with a transformation, and he's about to be butchered by Gray? Who knows?
I don't think Gray will go full dark side. I think this whole anger's kind of temporary.
That's what I think. I think after he butchers Invel, unless Invel says something, I think his anger subdues after he kills Invel.
Well, actually, no. I think his anger will be subdued after he goes after Natsu.
Right. That's
the next
probably
chapter,
a better guess,
I think, is going to be like half set up. Because it's an extended chapter. It's going to be 31 pages long.
Color pages. Yeah.
Colored page. So it's going to be a double issue chapter to celebrate 500 chapters. Something has to happen. I mean, for the purpose of serialization, he had to have planned something. We're either getting a big reveal,
which I
or
don't
like
know
the
what
start of some amazing fight.
Yes.
I think half the chapter is going to be persuading Gray to go after Natsu.
as he's laying there in a pool of his own
Your
blood.
own blood. Yeah, like
you should
just
go
a
take out
head.
Natsu.
Just sitting there
He did
talking.
this. Bleh.
No, that's a
And-
very good guess, Eric, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then they're gonna fight. My question is, how is the fight? I don't want it to be like super artificial. Like,
I'd
That's what they
rather them build up the fight for like, because I know you need something big for the next chapter, but I'd rather them save this fight for another 10, 20 chapters, have it build up, have Gray go more on of a rampage, because this, in my mind, is the second biggest, possibly the third, but Zeref Acnologia, that's something we really want to see. E.N.D. versus Gray using his Devil Slayer powers, that's another huge one, and obviously the Dragon Slayers taking on Acnologia, because that's their destiny. Like, I still think
Yep.
that Zeref's plan is still, Zeref sent the Dragon Slayers forward in time for a reason. I still think that's part of his big plan to take down Acnologia. I still think that he plans on using the Dragon Slayers to do it. I don't know how.
well, no, doesn't Zeref have the white Dragneel?
He does. He says that's his special tool to doing it, and I don't know. So many questions. Who knows?
And we still don't know who the fuck that guy is.
We don't know.
Is he their dad
I
or
Doubt.
something?
good old Uncle Larry Caden. That's what I'm thinking.
Larry K. Back from the dead.
Booyah, bitches. But yeah,
This next week is going to be painful. Well, next couple of days, because I have no idea how long this is going to take to edit for you, Taylor.
look, this is a very, very good chapter in terms of like storytelling and impact. In terms of how I feel about it, fuck this shit.
Bring back the ship.
But I am very much looking forward to the next chapter. I'm super fucking
yes.
hyped. If this has
Yeah.
built up anything, it's built up hype for the next chapter. So
Yep.
definitely next week, we're gonna be reviewing this chapter. I say we,
Definitely, yeah.
Eric, that motherfucker is gonna be in Jamaica.
Bye,
so we'll
Eric,
probably
I
I'm
guess. It's just
sorry.
gonna be the guild masters.
this guess is gonna be the guild masters, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I'll
Jesus.
just be Guildarts and go on some random ass journey and then show up when you guys need me the most.
You're gonna show up when you're hungry. Just
too.
like guild arts.
Just like Gildats. So, that has been our review for chapter 499. We'll be back next week to review chapter 500, and don't expect this as a regular occurrence. We're doing this because these are very, very important chapters. This isn't going to be a mini podcast type thing every single week, because our schedules don't work like that. We're three normal people with normal lives, so we can't all get in one place on a Monday evening to review the
Adulting
chapter.
is hard, folks.
Adulting is hard. Speak for yourself, Eric. I still like to think of myself as a kid, but still.
I'm
Well-
still at school.
Same. See?
Ah.
Oh, so is Eric, though.
Hey.
We're all
Yeah,
kids.
same.
We're all kids.
Yeah.
We're all kids in the end. That's how it is. So yeah.
And
Huh,
sorry.
and
God damn it! Alright.
end on a high note.
We'll just fucking
Hey, like, if you want to end on a high note, technically, Juvia is canon now. Technically,
Hooray!
it is.
Yay.
Hooray.
If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe for more
Better
fairy tale
she was
thoughts in
still
the
alive.
future. She'll come back.
She will come back.
We'll see you next time, guys. See you later.
Peace.
Juvia for life.